So now you become aware that he is involved in criminality. Why did you not terminate communication immediately?
That idea never crossed my mind, Commissioner.
What you are telling us is untrue.
You were in a meeting in which you were trying to assist Mr. Matlala with his contractual problems.
Commissioner, I deny that I was assisting him. He asked me to accompany him.
General, let's not debate that. When you put it down that way, you said Mr. Matlala had requested I accompany him for moral support, as he was not comfortable meeting alone at that stage. It's your words, so you understood the true purpose. The purpose of you being there was to give him moral support. That is to assist, General.
Assistance in terms of the moral support, I will agree to that, Commissioners.
The first paragraph, again, there's the summary in bold, right?
Correct.
The first paragraph reads, Vusimuzi Matlala, a businessman and entrepreneur allegedly linked to Tembisa Hospital extraction syndicates, was first identified by whistleblower Babita Deokran 3 weeks before she was killed. So you said you didn't know about this. The only thing that you knew on the 5th of March was this issue about the director, a change in directors. You didn't know anything else about Mr. Matlala's criminality. Do you recall that you said that?
I said I...
Alleged.
I said,
alleged at this stage. You said criminality.
Well, criminality in the sense of a criminal conviction, and yes, alleged criminality in the context of this article.
Commissioners, when I responded to this, I said this had to do with the changing of a directorship of a company that the police has given him, and then why changing the directorship? And then we had engagement.
Yes, so I'm saying that's right, that's what you said. You said all that you were aware of, all that concerned you was that issue of the directorship. Right? So you're confirming that.
No, you want me to respond, but that is your inference. I'm saying
No.
When I testified, I said I saw that he changed the directorship of this, and then we had conversations about this.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you is, when I asked you whether you had knowledge of other alleged criminality of Mr. Matlala, you said all that concerned you at this time, all that you knew about, was this 5 March article that dealt with the issue of this director replacement. Do you remember that?
I remember that, Commissioners.
Thank you. But I'm saying to you, General, that the article says a lot more than just raising this issue of the change in directors. In the very first paragraph, it talks about Mr. Matlala being linked to the Tembisa Hospital extraction syndicates. Do you see that?
I see that, Commissioners.
Second, the second paragraph says, while under investigation by the SIU and Hawks,
I see that.
Matlala landed a 360 million rand tender. And then it says, on the same day, News 24 exposed him as the controversial controlling mind behind the company. He resigned his directorship and was replaced. Now, General, it's not true that you didn't know about these other activities, these other allegations against Mr. Matlala, isn't that so?
Commissioners, if they clicked on these articles and went further and this came out, I must admit that I did read this. Now I recall, because the advocate is talking about these things that are listed here. When you click and go further, it is important that you sometimes be made to recall certain things. But if you recall, you must say it and assist the commission. That is why when you look at my affidavit, I said this thing became too wary of me with the relationship. And then we had serious engagement there. So then maybe there and there, I became aware, and we had serious deliberations, me and him.
And you now know that your own organization is investigating him?
I now know, yes.
No, you knew it on the 5th of March.
Yes.
Because it said so in this article.
This is from the news clip, but I was not privy to the content of the investigation. It is this clip, I became aware here, but it is not what you call within my own space, my own organization, yes.
I'm sorry, what do you mean it's not within your own space? When you saw this article and you see you are the provincial head of the Hawks in KZN, your friend is being investigated by the Hawks. What did you do about that?
Hence I said I became wary, and then I started to withdraw gradually my relationship with the commissioners.
Did you make any further inquiries within the Hawks about these allegations against Mr. Matlala?
I didn't do any further inquiries with that.
Why not?
It's not a common practice unless you are privy to the investigation, as I indicated earlier, that when we sit in the National Project Committee forum, they discuss certain things, and this specific project was never discussed there. And then normally, even if I have certain things that I'm dealing with, that the investigation is within that province, we don't do that. We allow them to continue with the investigations.
Yes, but this concerns Mr. Matlala, who is a friend of yours.
I agree, it concerns him.
Right. So do you think it's appropriate, as the provincial head of the Hawks, to continue your association with Mr. Matlala in the circumstances that this article exposes?
I told the commission already that from there I grew wary. I started to move away gradually. And I must indicate that, you see, what you were saying, what the advocate was saying, commissioners, that why I didn't inquire from the Hawks and everything. If I did that, today it will amount to interference. Because you see a newspaper clip, you phone the Hawks, then what will be your questions about that? It will amount to interference. Sometimes when people are being investigated, let the law take its course. And then without you interfering. Because some of the things that I'm accused of here, commissioners, is just I protected Mr. Matlala, utilized my office to protect him. If now I'm compelled to say why you didn't do this, I didn't do it because some of the things today, if it happened, it will amount to interference and protection.
No,
so,
no.
Commissioners.
General Senona,
yes,
it's a simple case of saying, what is the investigation about? Because I don't want to be associated with somebody who's involved with serious criminal activity. That's all it is. You're not interfering with the investigation. You're simply distancing yourself from somebody who's being investigated for serious crime. It's as simple as that. Why do you assume that it would have amounted to interference?
It is because...
Before you answer, can I please just add on to the Commissioner's question? Okay. Because more than that, in your position, you could have provided assistance to the Hawks investigation because of your proximity to Mr. Matlala. Now you can answer both.
Commissioner, that under the context that the commissioner has explained now, it never crossed my mind, because normally when investigations are happening, it is on a need-to-know basis. And that is why I said the issue of confidentiality is paramount somewhere in my affidavit. So when one picks up a phone and asks you about an individual that is under investigation with another province, it raises suspicions that what is this person, what does he want to know about this? We don't do that normally, unless if the PCMC has picked it up and linked this investigation to another province, then you can start to engage. So that, under the context of the commissioner, it never crossed my mind to do that. I didn't take it in that way. I just left it so that they can investigate free.
And the article mentions 2 other offences. Advocate Hasim has mentioned 3. The 4th one is that Matlala was questioned by the police and his business and home were raided. 5, Matlala's business won a contract using falsified information.
Yes, Commissioner. What is the question, Commissioner?
So, you can see that he's being investigated by the SIU, by the Hawks, by the SAPs, and you continue to associate with him. In fact, you continue to assist him in his business ventures.
If we look after the 5th of March on the WhatsApp commissioners, I have indicated in my affidavit that I became wary of his conduct, and from that time I started to withdraw. Maybe I don't know how to put it, but after that I started to withdraw slowly to go out of this relationship, commissioners.
I think that's not correct. We will go through that, but let me just say, first of all, that is not a candid response, because what we know, and we spent some time on yesterday, is that you were part of a meeting on the 15th of April, well over a month after receiving this article, reading this article. You were in a meeting in which you were trying to assist Mr. Matlala with his contractual problems. That doesn't indicate somebody who is withdrawing. Wouldn't you agree?
Commissioner, I deny that I was assisting him. He asked me to accompany him. And accompanying somebody does not necessarily mean assisting. And there, his issues, he was talking to General Mkwanazi. And I didn't arrange that meeting. I've testified and it's there in my affidavit. I don't think it is fair if I'm told that I was assisting, whereas the man himself said he asked me to accompany him there. My interpretation of accompanying does not go.
General, is this not engaging in semantics now? You have said from March you began distancing yourself, and that culminated in you cutting him off, and that's from March. And now you say that him asking you to accompany him is not assistance. Let's say he spoke isintu and said, "Ndicela undikhaphe ke kopa utsamayele nna." I'm going to see. Okay, let's say even the rest, which is in English now, was also in Sesotho or Setswana or Sepedi. I'm going to see, or I'm going to meet General Mkwanazi. So that's a request. Ndicela undikhaphe ke kopa utsamayele nna. Agreeing to that That's assistance. It's something that he wants, so that's assistance. I think you are engaging in semantics to try to say you are not assisting him.
General, in fact, in your statement, it's more than just accompanying him. In your statement, you say, I went to give him moral support. So it's more than just, we am kappa, to use the chairperson's language. You're going to give him support. That's to assist him.
That's assisting.
I believe that is the interpretation of the
It's not an
it's your
interpretation.
language.
It's not an interpretation. That's what you yourself say.
But
It's your language. It's your language, General. Let's not debate that. When you put it down that way, you said Mr. Matlala had requested I accompany him for moral support, as he was not comfortable meeting alone at that stage. It's your words, so you understood the true purpose, at least on paragraph 62. The true according to you, the purpose of you being there was to give him moral support. That is to assist, General.
And that is long after March, when you are wary of him, wary of communications from him. So long after you are continuing to assist. Can you now respond to the question by Advocate Hassim without engaging in semantics, please?
I did accompany him.
And you were rendering assistance, General.
If that is the case, let it be.
And to close this off.
It's your language, your own language. It's not a case of letting it be, General. Your own language. You are going to give him moral support. He asks you to accompany him, and you say you did because you are giving him moral support. That's assisting him, is it not?
Moral support and assisting him with his problems is different, but it's support in terms of the moral assistance in terms of the moral support. I will agree to that, Commissioners.
That's fine.
Especially because you preface it with assistance with the moral support. So you are assisting.
Thank you.
That's the long and short of it. Correct?
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I wanted to close it off, sorry, Advocate Hassim. You say in your statement that it was in relation to purchase orders. So it was in relation to his business ventures. It was not just a friendship moral support. It related specifically to his business venture, the purchase orders.
Correct, Commissioner. It was in relation to purchase orders. But it must be noted that I didn't participate in that type of engagement in that meeting, although I was present there. But the meeting was in relation to purchase orders. That is my response there.
So we must basically... So we must basically take what you say about beginning to distance yourself from March already. We must take that with a pinch of salt, and that's an understatement. Do you agree?
I've already responded in that I decided to terminate, to gradually move away from him.
No. That's not answering the question, because my question exactly goes to that gradual termination. So I'm saying you're a police officer, because you say people respond differently. And you may terminate communication differently depending on who you are. But my point is, you are a police officer. You head Hawks, which is a specialized unit within the police, and which deals with serious crimes. You become aware that a person that you consider to be your brother, your younger brother, you are Uputi, the bigger brother. So now you become aware that he is involved in criminality. And on the 5th of March, you decide that you want to cut communication with him. But you do this gradually. You are not an ordinary person. You actually had Hawks in KZN. Why did you not terminate communication immediately?
That idea never crossed my mind, Commissioner.
Now, let's just look at the content of these communications, which are, 3 months later? You seem to be communicating with a friend in a very amicable manner. No indication at all that you are irritated with him. No indication at all that this is somebody that you want to terminate communication with. You say, this is so sad, and it leaves one with, I think you wanted to say, no choice, the no is missing, but to seek legal advice on this issue with a view to challenge this decision. No sign of you in ever having intended to terminate communication at all. It's actually friendly. It's actually empathetic. How can that be if way back in March, 5 March, you already wanted to terminate communication? That just does not make sense altogether, General.
I've taken note of that, Commissioner.
I'm sorry?
I've taken note of the Commissioner's comments.
What's your report? What's your response? What's your comment?
I believe I have already responded, Commissioner.
You have not. I'm raising a different question now. I'm raising a question about you being empathetic, where you are suggesting that way back in March you wanted to terminate communication. This is a different point altogether. You have not responded to it. Can you please respond?
The empathetic part of it, Commissioner.
The entire context. You are talking as if you continue to relate with him in the same manner you have told us you related with him. Since the marriage, your marriage, in 2018-2019, having taken a liking to him, your words, you then communicated regularly as friends, and going to the extent of saying you basically considered each other to be brothers. Now you decide to terminate communication in March. What I'm saying is, but look, in May, you are communicating with him in a manner that shows that you are quite empathetic to the difficulties he finds himself in. And I say, to say that way back in March you had intended to terminate communication simply does not make sense. That's a different question to the earlier one, which was, why did you not terminate communication immediately? That's a different question, General. Please respond.
Maybe it's an hindsight on...
Before you respond, General, let me just add something else to the chairperson's question that you should take into account. Is in that page 60 WhatsApp where you say, take them on, brother, in fact, you are encouraging him. Contrary to what you are saying to us. In fact, a day or two before he's arrested, you say you encourage him to take your employer on regarding the termination of the contract, which, as the chair says, doesn't seem to suggest to present someone who has no interest anymore in Mr. Matlala's affairs and business.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Do you see that these are different questions? It's no longer my question about terminating immediately. Do you get that? So
I get it.
I just want to disabuse your mind of this idea that I'm asking you the same question. So can you now respond to my question, taking into account the additional point that my colleague has?
I have taken note of the analysis of the Commissioner, and I see that, yes, there is an error on my side that I've done in order to encourage him.
I just repeat that. I'm not sure I understand it.
I've taken note about the analysis of these messages by the Commissioner, and then I consider that it is an error on my side continuing to do this.
I want to suggest to you, General, that you are not able to respond to both these questions because what you are telling us is untrue. That is the real reason.
Commissioners, I believe I said I want to come and tell the truth, nothing else the truth. But that is the response I'm giving, Commissioners, in terms of the truth of my recollection. I've already said it might be an error of my side continuing to send him this type of messages. I think that is where I will stand with my response to the questions, Commissioners.
Now, General, from the 6th of March, that is the very day after you tell us, that is the day from which you intended to cut off communication. I'm looking at file 1 of 3, the exhibits file.
File?
The one that says 1 of 3, the exhibits file.
Okay, I got it, Commissioner.
It should be the same. It's the same one, actually.
Yes,
it's the same one we're on. Yes. If you look at page 28, all the way, and that's March. That's the 6th of March. And you have told us that from the 5th you are now wary of him, his communications, and you have decided to terminate communication on the 5th of March. So the page I'm referring you to, on page 28, there's communication there, still between you and Mr. Matlala, and that's the 6th of March. I will not go through the texts that are there one by one, but from that page, from page 28 all the way to page 60, communication between the two of you continues unabated. And at times, you are the one that initiates the communication. And this, in circumstances where you say that on the 5th of March, you had decided to terminate communication. So all the way up to page 60, and page 60 being in May, from 5 March, in May, continue over many pages, 28 to 60. At times, you being the initiator of the communications. Do you seriously want us to believe you that you ever wanted to terminate communication with Mr. Matlala?
The relationship, Commissioners, and what is happening, the way I took it, I understood what the Commissioner said about my position and where am I working, but it is the relationship, not necessarily the communication per se. Hence, I'm saying I was trying to move away.
Good, thanks. So, sorry, just on this 15th April meeting, it is not just a question of the moral support and being there and the presence. You also assisted Mr. Matlala in the following sense, that you did not report that meeting to the SAPS. Isn't that so?
You said I did not.
You did not report
the
yes.
meeting to the SAPS.
Yes, you didn't report.
The provincial commissioner was present. To who do I report to? Because I must tell him about the meeting. He was there. Mena, it's me who reported this here at the commission. To show that I've got nothing to hide. It's me who brought this thing here at the commission. The general was here, he never brought this here. So I think that needs to be taken seriously into consideration. Thank you, Commissioner.
That will be, but you testified yesterday about the independence of the Hawks from the SAPS, correct?
Operational independence, Commissioners.
I don't know what distinction you're trying to make, but what I'm trying to put to you is that the Hawks is an independent organization with specific responsibilities. So you bore a responsibility in your position as provincial head of Hawks quite apart from whatever duties General Mkhwanazi bore. Don't you agree?
I don't agree with you because I've testified before this commission about what type of independence is the Hawks having. It is supposed to be a totally independent. I even indicated the Glenister case yesterday. So I don't know what is the rationale of your question that I didn't report this to the police. The provincial commissioner was present in that meeting.
Yes, but you needed to report the provincial commissioner to his superior.
To his superior?
Correct.
Maybe you should have reported me as well to my superiors.
That may be so. I'm not asking about him. He will have his own questions to answer. I'm asking you.
I didn't report to him, to his superiors. I reported here at the commission. I waited for my time to come and report it here because whatever was discussed, let me say, the issue of the constitution of this commission is related to certain issues. And then eventually, Mr. Matlala is also part and parcel of the person who's being accused of wrongdoing or being in contravention with the law. So I chose to come and report it here.
But in 15 April 2025, this commission was not in existence. It wasn't even on the horizon.
Absolutely true. It was not in. It has not yet been established by then. So
no, there was no Madlanga commission on the 15 April 2025. There was no reason for you to think that there was going to be a commission where you could come and then report. Why did you not report it at the time?
Commissioners, reporting a meeting to my superiors, and then what was I supposed to say in that meeting? In the report? Maybe you must assist me because I've already testified yesterday here. You asked me questions about the issue where the general was talking about the case docket of the attempted murder. And then I also gave a response. What was my taking in relation to what transpired there? So what is it that I was supposed to report? That the provincial commissioner met with Mr. Matlala, doing what? I didn't see any need. And then I think, commissioners, I have responded to this question. I didn't report it.
Yes, you didn't report it, I get it. This was after you've sent him the Article 5 March. That's the context in which I'm asking you this. When you now knew all of these allegations against Mr. Matlala and the problem with this particular contract. But you've given your answer, and I'll accept that.
Can I just ask this, General? Do you not see anything wrong with a business person going to see a provincial commissioner of police and saying to him, if you help me get purchase orders to help my business, I will help you with something? Do you not see anything wrong with that? Because you seem to suggest that this is a normal meeting of people sitting and having drinks and there's nothing to report. He went there to get assistance because he was not getting purchase orders from SAPS. And according to you, he wanted General Mkhwanazi to help him to get purchase orders. And presumably he was going to give General Mkhwanazi something in return. Do you not see anything wrong with that?
Commissioners, I want to disagree with the first statement, that he went to the general to get assistance of the orders and then in return of him giving him something. I'm saying he asked me to accompany him, of which we dealt with that earlier, to the meeting. The main issue that he asked me there, he said what was going to be discussed is the problems with the orders. Now, in the meeting, issues were discussed between him and the general there. And then There was no, I didn't hear, let me put it this way, I didn't hear a conversation that says, help me with the purchase orders, and then I will, in exchange of this. That I heard it, I read it here when they give us the transcripts of Mr. Matlala from the ad hoc committee, that there were questions of that nature. So, as for me, I didn't hear that. The only thing that I presented before this commission is the issue of the attempted murder case, commissioners.
No, General, you state it as your knowledge in paragraph 64 of your order, of your statement. You say, my knowledge, however, is as follows. Then you set out the 3 paragraphs.
Paragraph?
64. And you say, General Mkwanazi agreed to assist Matlala to get purchase orders from Lieutenant General Nkua. It is there.
I said I disagree with that. He agreed to assist him with purchase order in return of something. That is what the commissioner said. And this one here, I do not disagree with it. It is there. I don't disagree with this one. And it must be also remembered that it is not me who arranged this meeting. Maybe Mr. Matlala will come and clarify who arranged the meeting before this commission.
Let's leave it there.